I'm a lifelong Catholic. I'm saying it as not only at Borders, I'll say it as a Catholic.
This is a super interesting story because as Trump has gained control of the border, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops got together and they are now critiquing what Trump is doing, again, by just defending the sovereign borders of the United States. Take a look.
As pastors, we, the bishops of the United States, are bound to our people by ties of communion and compassion in our Lord Jesus Christ. And we are disturbed when we see among our people a climate of fear and anxiety around questions of profiling and immigration enforcement.
We are saddened by the state of contemporary debate and the vilification of immigrants. We are concerned about the conditions in detention centers and the lack of access to pastoral care.
We lament that some immigrants in the United States have arbitrarily lost their legal status. We are troubled by threats against the sanctity of houses of worship and the special nature of hospitals and schools.
All right, so first off, let me say, I'm not Catholic, obviously, so it's not really for me to say the sort of, the spiritual critique is maybe not where I'm going to go with this for a moment, but I'm happy to have a Catholic bishop on or someone that wants to defend some of this from a more religious perspective. But what right do you guys think you actually have to tell the President of the United States how to defend this country? Connor, could you pull up the image of here's the giant wall that is around Vatican City, which is technically its own country. And I'm fairly certain it would be very hard to scale that wall, and that wall is more protected than virtually any wall that we have around this country. But why is it that you guys don't want everyone to come into Vatican City, right? I'm not going after anyone for their religion or I'm going after people for their beliefs that are mistaken. But I don't even think they're honoring their own Catholic beliefs in some sense, because you should have every right to defend your culture and your religion and your way of life. But for some reason, you don't want us to do that in the United States. That seems quite bizarre. Here is Tom Homan, who's obviously in charge of our deportations and cleaning up our border, responding to some of those bishops.
This week, the Catholic bishops sent out a special message. They said they get that countries to secure their borders, but they don't like these mass deportations.
So according to them, the message we should send to the whole world is that if you cross the border illegally, which is a crime, don't worry about it. If you get ordered removed by a federal judge after due process, don't worry about it, because there shouldn't be mass deportations. If that's the message we send to the whole world, people are still going to put themselves in harm's way to come to the greatest nation on earth. They're going to spend their life savings to give it to a criminal cartel. And we saw during the Biden administration, when there was no immigration enforcement, over 4,000 aliens died making that journey, historic record. 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl, historic record. Secure borders saves lives, and I wish the Catholic Church would understand that. We have the right to secure our borders like they have the right to secure their facility. You can't enter their facility without getting arrested. Matter of fact, the penalties for entering their facilities are much worse than ours. So, we're going to force the law, and by doing that, we're saving a lot of lives. Secure borders saves lives. And one of the reasons no one talks about why we have the most secure border in the history of this nation is because exactly what ICE is doing. ICE is sending a message to the whole world: don't give your life savings to come to the country, because you're not going to be released. You're not going to cross the border illegally, you're going to be prosecuted. So the Catholic Church is wrong. I'm sorry, but I'm a lifelong Catholic. I'm saying it as not only at Borders, I'll say it as a Catholic. I think they need to spend time fixing the Catholic Church, in my opinion.
On H-1B visa.
Okay, so that's his opinion as a Catholic. And obviously we don't have to get into the long litany of things that have happened throughout the Catholic Church, and hopefully most of that sordid history has been cleaned up. But why they would be attacking a sovereign nation from their sovereign walls of the Vatican seems, I would say, less than authentic. What Americans might want to focus on is that we do have a problem. We do have a problem with a strain of religion that is growing rapidly in the United States. Check this out from the Wokeness account on Twitter. These are 48 mosques that have now opened in Dallas. Dallas, you are just seeing Dallas right there. 48 mosques have now opened, new mosques in the last 2 years in Dallas. This is to the backdrop of that epic city that we've covered, which was going to be basically a Sharia compliant city. We might want to start thinking about that And that is not to be bigoted towards anybody, but if there is a religion that is based in a set of ideas that is antithetical to the foundation of the United States, which is based in individual freedom and liberty, then we might want to think about that.